Hey, welcome to day 16 of our 3M fast. Today, our devotion will focus on the fruit of gentleness as recorded in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such thing there is no law. Unfortunately, when we hear the term gentleness or see gentleness in action, we immediately equate it with weakness without understanding the core of its function. It's clearly a misunderstanding to assume that weakness has anything to do with gentleness. Gentleness, as seen in our text, comes from the Greek word Praotes, which incorporates gentleness and humility as an inward grace of the soul. Gentleness is a sign of inner peace and communion with God through the Holy Spirit. Gentleness is a characteristic of Jesus and should be a characteristic of every follower of Christ, and is a part of how wisdom from above goes to work in our lives. I know I'm right because in James chapter 3, verse 13, it says this. It says, "Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom." The Bible goes out of its way to demonstrate Jesus' gentleness. In fact, the Old Testament depicts the Messiah as unusually gentle. I know I'm right because in Isaiah chapter 42, verse 3, it says that Jesus would not break a bruised reed or snuff out a smoldering wick. In the New Testament, we see Jesus affirming his gentleness in Matthew chapter 11, verse 29, where he says this. He says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am," wait for it, "gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your soul." The Apostle Paul helps us to see Jesus' gentleness based on 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1, when he says, "By the humility and gentleness of Christ, I appeal to you." Clearly, we can see the portrait of the Messiah as gentle. Gentleness, then, is a strong hand with a soft touch. It's a tender and compassionate approach towards others' weaknesses and their limitations. A gentle person will speak truth, even painful truth, but in doing so guards their tone so that the truth can be well received. True followers of Christ are distinguished by their gentleness. When you treat persons with gentleness, you gain their trust and respect. Being gentle makes others more willing to listen to you. Fighting destroys relationships and takes so much time to repair. I want to suggest you can prevent inciting anger by choosing to respond with gentleness. In doing so, it creates a closer connection, and as an added bonus, it will save you time and hardship. It's easy to be gentle when we are around those we care for and those who care about us in return. But to do the same for strangers or for people who hurt us, this is where gentleness is often confused with weakness. This is where we fear appearing weak, fragile, soft, or uncertain to others. And in doing so, we forget that maintaining a gentle attitude is a sure sign, wait for it, of strength. In other cases, we fear judgment if we become overcome with emotions, when we should recognize that our ability to be moved to identify with the suffering of others and want to help them really makes us better. Like many of the spiritual gifts we discovered in this passage from Galatians, gentleness is inseparable from the ingredients of the fruit of the Spirit. How can we be gentle? Let's start today by thinking about others. Let's live from this day forward with less judgment and more compassion. Lastly, let's commit to being a true follower of Christ. Our world may be a harsh place to live, but we can soften it when we truly follow Jesus' teachings and sincerely work for his kingdom. Hey, listen, that's my time. Thank you for yours.